ingredients we're going to use are a fresh organic large cabbage, some fresh organic baby portobello mushrooms that we're going to chop up, a couple of cloves of fresh garlic, a large yellow sweet onion. Notice it's very large, makes it sweeter and good. And to make it a little bit sweeter, we're going to add a little bit of organic light brown sugar. Instead of using vegetable oil, I'm going to use organic coconut oil. I'm going to use some fresh sea salt and some fresh ground pepper. My first suggestion is to go ahead and use an iron skillet to cook this in, because if it's seasoned, it adds some nice flavor. And I've got my organic coconut oil. I'm just going to go ahead and add probably a nice big blob of that, a tablespoon or so, and let that melt. Now that our oil's melted, we're going to go ahead and dump in first the garlic that we've chopped up. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour in the chopped onions. Notice they're not chopped too finely, so they don't have to be tiny. But we want those to go ahead and kind of caramelize a little bit before we actually add the cabbage. Now, if you have smell-o-vision on your YouTube console, go ahead and turn that on so you can smell these fantastic onions and garlic cooking. Okay, notice that the onions are nice and caramelized. They start getting kind of brown or yellowish. They smell fantastic. Just keep them on kind of medium-high, and go ahead and add your cabbage. Notice I've chopped the cabbage up fairly small, but it doesn't have to be tiny. I'm going to try to add as much. You may have to add it a little bit at a time so that it cooks down in order to fit it all into the pan. And once you add your cabbage, you're going to want to go ahead and turn your heat down to about medium, because you don't want it to overcook or to cook too fast. You want to just saute it. And then what you're going to do is add the top so that it kind of steams nicely, and just let it steam for a little while. When it cooks down, you'll go ahead and add more cabbage if you have it to do. Okay, so notice it's cooking, still cooking, needs to cook down some more before I add more cabbage. In a few minutes I'll add the mushrooms, but they'll be last because they cook fast. Notice what I'm doing is just kind of removing the top and just kind of mixing things up so that the onions don't burn on the bottom. Just want to kind of stir things up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and add the portobello mushrooms. Notice they've already been chopped up nicely, or you can buy them already chopped, pre-chopped. But since they cook fast, we're going to go ahead and add them kind of last, or at least before I add my seasoning to taste. And we're going to put the top on, let that cook down just a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and season. Okay, so here's what it looks like pretty much when it's done. Now, I've gone ahead and added some brown sugar and sea salt and pepper, and I'm going to ask you to do that to taste. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much to add. You may like it a little sweeter, you may like it a little saltier, a little bit spicier with a little more pepper. But notice it's a little bit runny, so what I've done is I've turned it down to medium-low to low, and I'm going to take the top off and just kind of let it reduce just a bit to get some of that liquid out and cook. But it's tasting pretty awesome right now.